Let's go over to page 3 and get into the nuts and bolts, though, about the typical application situation. Letter B, when do you collect this? At the time of app. And you might pick up your pens right here and write down initial app, not completed app. Again, there is no definition of completed app in HMDA. It's the initial is what they're trying to say. The first time where you're asking, they're coming in and saying, I'd like to get a loan, and they start to discuss it. Now, there's a fine line between maybe somebody that is inquiring versus applying. And we have a 2-hour webinar on that topic that you really need to understand the differences there. So this is not an inquiry, but you're gathering information where you can say yes or no, or you have said yes or no. That's definitely an application. Now, it says you have to ask them for their information. And letter D, you got to give them the disclaimer that you see on the page there of 3 or that you see on your screen, verbatim. And yeah, that means if you're taking applications over the phone, that you are reading them that verbatim disclaimer and then reading them all the options that they can have. Now, there is a little exception. In fact, if you want to flip back with me to page 10, you'll see the demographic information form. Anything in italics, you don't have to read that, but that's pretty limited. You might go, where's it at? Underneath Hispanic, you'll see there's Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, other, and then there's a line where they can write in, and it says, for example, that's the italics. And you'll see that in a race in a couple places as well. You don't have to give the 4 examples, but you have to read them, all of those options, which can take a lot of time and be confusing. Now let's go back to page 3. So if you're taking telephone apps, then you have to be asking them, or you have to give this disclaimer. You have to ask them all their choices. And the other one is letter F there. If it's any kind of electronic, like Teams or Zoom or whatever system you happen to have, if you're able to see them, you have to have this information. You got to give them the disclaimer. You got to ask them the way that they want to fill it out. You're going to ask it. So take letter B, C, and D and just say no exceptions. We have to ask for it at the time of application. We got to give them this rights to do it depending on how it is, but you have to ask for it, and then you have to give them this disclaimer.